Do you have discernment? Do you have the Ruach? Do you have spiritual maturity? Check this. I've met some people face to face, hugged them, and they are ones that claim to have spiritual maturity, the Ruach. Nothing about the meeting triggered their discernment. Nothing made them feel uncomfortable about me. Basically, there was a warmness in the connection. Yet, as time went about, because of what I may have posted, they got offended. No conversation with me at all. Basically, they may even have my phone number, didn't even call to have a personal conversation with me to see if maybe, their discernment that they had before had really changed. But no, they were triggered, they were offended because of something that was typed. And maybe they didn't have the clear comprehension of what was being said. They didn't even seek it out. They never sought to know the conclusion of the whole matter. But yet, rather than even, talk with me, they unfriended me, blocked me, or whatever. There was not like there was a conversation or an argument or whatever. Maybe they had a understanding of what my beliefs was. Few of them, basically, from a third party, I find out that they thought I was anti-Messiah, that I basically didn't like or pay attention to the Brit Hadashah, or the New Testament. But again, these are supposed to be spiritually mature people, people who have discernment. They have the Ruach, but yet they never once had a discussion with me. These are people that are proclaimed leaders or people who are esteemed within Yasharal or in this Israelite awakening. It's amazing. One of them specifically, he's a singer or a producer out there. It's amazing when he unfriended. I was like, wow. I'm like, okay. Didn't have a conversation. I met him actually in Detroit at there was a Great Awakening event, and everything's good. Took picture with him, everything. And I'm like, well, I can't argue with it. If he decides to unfriend or whatever and disconnect, I have to respect his wishes. But it's just like, man, it's amazing how many people, they get offended and they don't even give a person the opportunity to, I guess, correct or maybe even explain their point of view. The more I walk in this walk, the more I see that people are not really led by the Ruach. They're led by emotions and feelings. And I try my best not to allow that, because there's a lot of people, when it comes to my emotions and feelings, I've been triggered by them all day. But no, I won't cut ties and relationship, because as I've noticed, that moment should not define every situation. One of my ox, I'm gonna just say, Drew, he was coming at me kind of, to me, sideways just one time or whatever. But I'm like, maybe he was just having a bad day. And I just, instead just said, Ahava, I love you. And then what, a week later, we had a positive interaction. So it's like, okay, if I had jumped the gun and just like, oh, I'm gonna block him, I'm gonna, you know, lose a relationship that I know that once we had fellowshipped and we connected face to face was genuine. But of course, you know, I'm one that I try to trust Yah. I do what Yah tells me, but I'm like, okay, I can't get mad at anybody. If you feel like, I'm offending, or if I make you uncomfortable, or if I cause you to get out of yourself, Okay, remove me. I can't get mad at that. I don't comprehend it. Don't get it. I had one friend, that got offended by me or someone I claimed as a friend, and rather than talk to me, they talked to another friend, ghosted me. And I'm like, wow. I thought we were tight. I actually stayed at their home one time or whatever. And I'm like, wow. But again, that's what this life is about. You know, you're going to learn that your discernment on people, your Ruach, is not like everybody else's. You may be willing to endure and walk the long mile with somebody, and they may not have that same desire with you. They're looking for the first offense to cut off the relationship. That's sad, though, that people are seeking to be offended by some people just so that they can remove them. If it's that ever gets that way with me, please remove me now. If you have the notion that you're waiting for me to make the next move that may offend you, just go ahead and remove me now. Because I don't want to be walking on eggshells in any relationship where I'm going to think that, oh, if I speak my mind, I'm going to lose this person. I should never have to be in a situation like that. And honestly, I'm married to one woman right now. And so I should never have a relationship that, I view as so important that I gotta sacrifice who I am to keep it. And it's not my marriage. That's just crazy to me. But again, I'm one with the Ruach. I believe myself to have discernment and spiritual maturity. And even though sometimes I'm immature as in my flesh, I done did this thing for a while, and I'm not willing to let people go off of just anything. But if they want to go, I'm not going to hold them. I'm not holding anybody captive that does not want to be there. Just can't do it. But I will fight myself when I have the temptation to remove somebody off of something. I'm not going to just do that. But yes, I will honor your will if you choose to separate from me. All right, let me get myself ready for work. Shalom.